Leandrea Johnson has done something that no one ever expected. She's taken her voice, not just the one that won her a Grammy, but her real unfiltered voice, and aimed it straight at Bishop T.D. Jakes. The internet's in chaos. People are talking about secrets, cover-ups, and truths tucked away behind church walls. And fans are now questioning everything they thought they understood about their spiritual leaders. Could there be something much darker happening in the church than anyone realized? Let's get into the details, because what's unfolding is more than just gossip. It's a full-blown storm. Leandrea Johnson is no stranger to drama or controversy. Ever since she won Sunday Best in 2010, she's been celebrated for her powerful singing, but also scrutinized for her personal battles. Her struggles with addiction and depression have been public, and her complicated relationship with the church has always been part of her story. But this time, she's not just talking about herself. She's pointing fingers at one of the most powerful men in modern ministry, Bishop T.D. Jakes. Her words are bold. Her delivery is raw, and the message is clear. She feels deeply wounded by the silence and lack of support from Bishop Jakes during her hardest times. This isn't just about her own feelings. It's about how spiritual leaders operate, how they wield their influence, and what happens when people in pain are left behind by those they thought would protect them. This moment has stirred up massive conversations about accountability, celebrity pastors, and how much spiritual leaders really care about the people they lead. Let's rewind and look at how we got here. When Leandrea first rose to fame, she was seen as both a beacon of hope and a magnet for criticism. Her voice could move crowds, but her personal struggles put her at odds with many in the church. Bishop T.D. Jakes, meanwhile, was one of the most influential pastors in the world, leading a megachurch in Dallas and shaping the careers of countless gospel artists. For a while, it seemed like Leandrea was under his wing. There were rumors he mentored her, or at least tried to guide her through her darkest days. But as time went on, something seemed to change. Leandrea started hinting in interviews and social media that some of the church's biggest names had let her down. They promised support but disappeared when things got tough. Fans began to suspect she was talking about Bishop Jakes, especially since no one of his stature publicly defended her when she was criticized for her actions or words. That absence of support cut deep. Leandrea has always loved the church, but she's also been honest about its flaws. How political, broken, and sometimes hypocritical it can be. Now, after years of keeping specific names out of her public statements, Leandrea finally decided to say it. Bishop T.D. Jakes, the same man who preaches about grace and restoration, she claims, played a role in her pain. This isn't just a story about hurt feelings. It's about how power works, how grace is given selectively, and the emotional toll of being ignored by a leader supposed to be there as a spiritual father. The moment Leandrea went live on Instagram and named Bishop Jakes, the internet exploded. She spoke directly to her audience, emotional but determined, claiming that Bishop Jakes had every opportunity to reach out to her, knew about her struggles, and chose to step away instead of offering help. She accused the church of loving talent but abandoning people when they're vulnerable, saying they love you when you perform, then drop you when you bleed. Those words struck a nerve, and the fact that Bishop Jakes and his team said nothing in response made the silence feel even louder. Leandrea didn't stop at general statements. She described how church leaders, including Bishop Jakes, would invite her to perform at huge events, but were nowhere to be found when she was hurting backstage or struggling after the spotlight faded. She shared that she reached out for help during a breakdown and never got a response. This goes beyond a feud between celebrities. It's an emotional look at how churches sometimes use people's gifts but ignore their humanity when things get messy. Leandrea's pain was clear. She wasn't just speaking as an artist, but as someone who felt abandoned by the very institution she'd given her life to. The reactions online were intense. Many people supported Leandrea, saying she was brave for speaking her truth and exposing the reality of church hurt. Others accused her of trying to bring down the church or being bitter. But Leandrea stood her ground, insisting she was confronting lies, not attacking the faith itself. Her honesty has likely cost her relationships in the gospel music world. But it's also given courage to thousands who feel similarly abandoned. Let's talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's been a giant in the world of preaching with a massive following and connections to celebrities, politicians, and other powerful figures. He's built an empire, not just in church, but in media and Hollywood. But now, faced with rumors and accusations, his silence is drawing even more attention. When stories started circulating about possible connections to controversial parties and celebrities, people expected him to address them directly. Instead, he talked about being targeted by thousands of AI bots trying to smear his reputation, claiming a coordinated attack against him online. This AI angle left people confused and skeptical. Was he trying to distract from the real issues, or was there something deeper happening behind the scenes? Some wondered why other well-known pastors like Creflo or Bishop Paul Morton hadn't spoken up to defend him. Was their silence a sign of something bigger, a strategy to avoid getting dragged into the drama? The uncertainty only fueled more speculation and demands for answers. The controversy didn't stop with Bishop Jakes. It spread to other big names in the church, like Creflo and Prophet Brian Cagg. Creflo, famous for preaching about prosperity and wealth, recently made headlines by stepping back from some of his old teachings about tithing. Some people saw this as an attempt to distance himself from scandals, especially as rumors swirled about his presence at secretive celebrity parties. When asked about these gatherings, he gave vague responses, leaving more questions than answers. Then there's Prophet Brian Cagg, known for his dramatic and confrontational style. He's accused other pastors of getting too close to celebrities and not living up to their spiritual responsibilities. In recent live streams, he's warned that judgment is coming to the church, hinting at scandals involving sex rings and hush money. He even suggested that the focus on certain celebrities is a distraction from deeper problems. His warnings have stirred up even more distrust among church members, especially younger generations who already feel disconnected from organized religion. Social media is flooded with reactions. Some members are cutting ties with longtime churches, burning sermons, and spreading hashtags that call out what they see as hypocrisy and corruption. For many, this isn't just about reputations, it's about faith itself. People are questioning whether the leaders they looked up to are truly living the values they preach as the situation escalates. It's affecting not just the individuals at the center of the drama, but entire church communities. Some leaders are scrambling to defend themselves or clarify their positions, while others are staying quiet, hoping the storm will pass. The divisions are deepening. Even within Prophet Cagh's own network, supporters are turning away, and former allies are speaking out against him. Money and manipulation are becoming part of the conversation too. Allegations are surfacing about leaders demanding large prophetic seed offerings and living lavish lifestyles while their followers struggle. Screenshots, audio clips, and videos are circulating online, fueling debates about whether this is a witch hunt or much-needed accountability. The real wound for many isn't just the scandals themselves, but the loss of trust in leaders who were supposed to guide and protect them. Prophet Brian Cagh's rise to fame is a story all its own. He was seen as a child prodigy, preaching with incredible accuracy and power from a young age. His gift brought him national attention, packed auditoriums, and a loyal following. But fame brought scrutiny, and over the years, rumors of questionable behavior and failed prophecies started to catch up with him. Each time, he managed to bounce back, claiming he was being persecuted like biblical prophets. But this latest wave of accusations feels different, even to his most dedicated supporters. If the allegations against QA are true, it's more than just a personal failure. It's a spiritual crisis. He's accused of using his influence to manipulate and silence people which, if proven, would be a serious breach of trust. Despite the criticism, Ka continues to preach with intensity, insisting that he's being targeted because he's a true prophet. He frames the controversy as a test for real believers. But not everyone is convinced. The larger picture is clear. The era of untouchable celebrity pastors is ending. People are demanding honesty, accountability, and real spiritual leadership. Whether Ka, Jakes, or Dollar come through this storm redeemed or ruined, the world of modern ministry is changing. Faith communities are at a crossroads, grappling with what it means to follow leaders who are as flawed and human as anyone else. This story isn't over. If anything, it's the start of a new chapter in the messy and often mystifying world of church leadership. As people search for truth and healing, the hope is that real change will come, not just in how scandals are handled, but in how leaders care for the people who trust them. The conversation is ongoing, and the stakes are higher than ever.